Hey everyone, Ryan here from the Barbecue and Brew Show live at Meatstock in Sydney. I'm here with Neville Sherry from Jack's Creek to talk a little bit about Jack's Creek and the amazing meat you guys produce. Neville, how you doing?
Ryan, I'm here at Meatstock, Sydney 2023. Fantastic, what an event. It's just pumping.
So good.
It gets the blood curling. It feels like we're amongst friends.
Yep, absolutely. And look, I mean, I've seen Jack's Creek floating around for a while, you know, with the guys in the competition scene as well. And you guys obviously support that competition scene quite a bit as well. So, but before we get into all that kind of stuff, tell us a little bit about Jack's Creek, how it got started, and you know what we should know about it.
Well, the Jack's Creek brand, as you know, is synonymous with the red meat game. We've won the World Steak Challenge 2 years in a row.
Yep.
One of our latest victories in the last year or two is out of 15 categories, we got 11 gold medals. And as far as consistency goes, as you know, in the red meat game, mate, we get a really big kick out of doing that, and it's sensational. We've taken that on board, and it's a real sign that we're heading in the right direction.
Absolutely, and consistency, especially in the red meat game, is
100%,
so hard.
100%.
So tell us a little bit about what Jack Creek does to maintain that.
Well, right from the backgrounding of the cattle, right through the processing of the product, is that the biggest thing I think separates Jack's Creek from some other fantastic brands and companies out there is the belief we show in each other. We have a desire to succeed, we have self-belief, but the belief we have in others that's installed from the Warmel family down is incredible. And I've worked with a number of meat companies around Australia, and some very good meat companies I might say, but the thing that separates it is that belief in others.
Absolutely. And I think you mentioned the Warmel family as well. How long have they been around? And I suppose they started that
T.S. Warmel come to Australia in 1852.
Okay,
they travel around the
mate.
They travel around the goldfields, opening up butcher shops and hide stores. And the thing that was important to T.S. Warmel, talking to the forefathers of the Warmel family, is leaving a legacy for his family. And as you can see, 170 years old and still going strong. They're getting better and better. And we're not happy with where we are at the moment, Ryan. We want to get better. We want to be the #1 beef brand in Australia and the world.
That's unreal. And I mean, you're speaking about Jack's Creek, and obviously there's a few different brands underneath that umbrella. Tell us a little bit about that.
Mate, we have the 500 Day, the purebred brand, which you'll find in a yellow bag, yellow lid. Then we come to the F1s, that's our Wagyu cross.
Oh, nice.
Then we have the Black Angus brand, which it's exquisite, it's beautiful. It's a great eating steak. You can eat it every day of the week. I can if you're a Bavini or connoisseur. But then we come down to our Angus cross, our Black Angus, our Jack's Creek Classic range, Black Angus Classic range, and that's my personal favourite because it's robust, it's rambunctious, you can ramp it up to be fine dining, but you can bring it back down to have on the barbecue at home, and mate, that's the steak for every occasion.
Fantastic. And I suppose with the different range there, is there a mix of grass-fed and grain-fed, or is it kind of
all high energy ration grain-fed? So we've gone to that. We have like the voluptuous palatability of our 500 Day purebred, and then we come down to the 400 Day Angus Black Wagyu cross. Then you come down to the Black Angus, it's 180 days high energy grain fed, and then we bring it back to the classic range, which is 130 days. So as you can see, we covered all genres, the whole spectra. So there's a steak out there for every Jack's Creek lover, which is plenty around. Just got to ask your local butcher.
That's it, man. I've had a few from the competition circuit. They taste bloody amazing. Now you obviously getting behind the SCA and the steak competitions as well. You know, how important is that to Jack's Creek?
It's vitally important, especially for these days, to give back to the community. And you can see the passion amongst not only the people that turn up to Meatstock, but people that they love the smoking. You go down to those smokers down there, you go to the barbecuers, and the passion that exudes, and I think that's the thing that holds us all together. And we want to give back to the community because the community gives Jack's Creek, the Warmel family, so much and so much support.
That's good. Look, I want to step back to that 500 Day.
100%.
So that's 500 days of being in the feedlot and going through that process. And I guess what's the difference between, if we're talking about a 500 Day steak as opposed to the 180 Day, what can you see from a difference?
What you'll find with the 500 Day stuff, it's the purebred brand, and the intramuscular marbling is really fine. That's the stuff that's really cherished. That's the stuff you're going to get in the high-end restaurants. The beautiful part about that is we've got to be careful here in Australia because we just see meat and want to eat heaps of it. But I think the secret when you're dining out on Wagyu is that just don't have enough, because that's what you want to come back for more. If you have too much, it's a little bit rich, but it's not designed to have a big fat juicy steak. It's more fine dining, but it is absolutely voluptuous.
And from a marbling score point of view, where does that sit?
Oh, but you can go anywhere from a marble score 6 up to a 9+. It just blows off the Richter scale, and you'll see it. Once you see a fine piece of meat like that, you know you're eating something
That's
pretty
it.
special.
And I think that's what I love about that kind of fine meat is that you don't have to eat a lot, just enjoy it just the right amount.
100%.
You know, because I think it's like 3 times a week is what we should be eating.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, obviously if we're having a giant
Restraint,
steak and-
Rian,
yeah.
restraint. That's what we need. So
That's it. And look, and I guess from a preparation point of view and things like that, or where people can get some tips, is there any resources from Jack's Creek on how to work with these different types of
mate,
meat?
you jump on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page or on Google. There's some wonderful tips, wonderful recipes on that, and you get the whole story of the Jack's Creek, and it's a wonderful story. It's a great Australian success story. Irish immigrants come over here and work their absolute butt off, which you have to do in the red meat game to succeed. And mate, they've done it to perfection.
That's right. And how many head of cattle are they running with?
Mate, we about 65,000 head
Okay.
a year. So it's
just 65,000.
Yeah, it's not a small number, but we do about say 2,000 Angus brands, Angus bodies a week, and then about 1,000 of the Wagyu processed every week.
all right.
So one week we do the full blood program, the other week we do the cross program.
No worries. And how many farms across Australia?
Mate, they've got 2 farms.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So one for backgrounding,
Yep.
which I think that they bought. I think it's Willow Tree. They might have bought in 1947, and their own farming.
Yep.
But down here in New South Wales, it's they bought it on just below the Great Divide for the rainfall, the consistent rainfall, and mate, it's worked to perfection.
No, that's fantastic. And now, I mean, I've heard of Jack's Creek. I see it in the competition scene. But where can people find Jack's Creek?
This is what we're trying to solve, because if you talk to anyone, they'll tell you 3 things, Rian: where you can get Jack's Creek, where you can't get Jack's Creek, and when they had it, how good it was.
Yeah.
So we're trying to solve that to get it back out into the market as widespread as we possibly can. We want to be the #1 consumer brand here in Australia.
Fantastic.
So we're working very, very hard. And as you know, once it hits the shelves, it goes very, very quickly. So if you ever see it on the shelves there, ladies and gentlemen, grab it while you can, because it's not going to stay there for long.
I have never seen it on a shelf, so I do want to see it.
It's there.
I'm down in Geelong, Victoria, so it's.
Well, I'm going to talk to Patrick and get him to send some straight down there for
I
you.
need to try this stuff. And Neville, so good to have a chat to you. Before I let you go, where can people find more information about Jack's Creek?
Mate, I would jump online.
Yeah.
Like young Natalia, our marketing manager, she runs a really good show there, and she's updating it all the time. That's the first place. Go to Facebook, go to Google, go to our YouTube channel, and you'll find all the information you need. And we love feedback. I think we don't just want to hear the positive feedback.
Absolutely.
We want to hear the negative feedback. As you know, you've got to take that on board, because we want to be #1.
Excellent. Neville, Jerry from Jack's Creek, so good to have a chat to you, and enjoy the rest of Meatstock.
I certainly will. Great event. Come next year, folks.
Absolutely. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Rian. Beautiful.